Hi, there we are. So welcome to an unplanned extra live stream. I live in the Netherlands and it is snowing. It's been snowing for a few days. So I usually have my figure drawing session that I host here in my hometown, and that was canceled tonight because it's not really safe for people to drive and stuff. So I figured I would do a live stream. So let me see who's here. Rosie is here. Hi. Ariana, here's an art supply I find intriguing but decided I wasn't going to buy. Are you going to change my mind? Probably not, but if I do, you are more than welcome to, I will bring you some pens with this stuff. I will explain to you why in a little bit. Olvinica is here. Hi, Olvinica, you're traveling, I think, with your van, so nice you can join us. Hi, Lisbeth. I think I have some liquid charcoal in a drawer somewhere. Same here. Yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna happen. So, hold up, let me switch. Okay. Oh, by the way, yesterday, during the Zoom call, I just noticed that I had the, what's it called? Like the automatic focus thingy on for some reason. I don't know why. So if my camera was being weird last night during the Zoom call, that's why. But I hope we're doing good now. All right, so I have two tubes, just like Elizabeth. There was somewhere in my drawer. I buy this stuff because I have a problem. Anyways, here it is. Mine are by Schminke, and basically what it is a, let me see if the binders, they don't really tell you what the binder is, but the pigment is PBK8, which is basically just black, right? So it means it's an oxide, right? So it's which makes sense because it's charcoal. But I have oil paint with basically the same pigment in there, and so that's what it is. I'm guessing this is some kind of like watercolor binder, the same that you would use for watercolor. Let me just quickly, for the heck of it, liquid charcoal, see what it costs now, because I do remember being a little bit shocked by the price. All right, so right now it's 11 euros, which is not, I think it was actually more expensive when it came out. But it's 11 euros now, which I guess is fine. I don't know. It's 35 milliliters, so it's the same as a normal oil paint tube, and it comes in different stuff that they burn. So this is grape seeds, and this is peach stone. And this is a warmer black, and this is a colder black. Did I get? I did not. Hold on. I was gonna get a plate to put them on, but I got a plate here. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Linda. Almost purchased it a few times. I took it back out of my car. You're a better person than I am, probably. Oh, you meant to tell me. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can totally tell me next time something is off in the stream or something is off with the sound. Like I usually have everything right. So if it's not right, tell me. All right, so we're gonna put down both. I think Schminke has 3 different kinds, but I practiced some form of self-constraint and I only bought 2. Yay for me. So the whole point, I think, the whole point of liquid charcoal is that you can put it down with water and then also erase it. So I'm gonna walk back in a little bit when it's dry and see if we can actually erase it, because I haven't had much luck with that. So let me first show you, this is the colder variety. All right, so I always work vertically and I didn't really realize if maybe that was an issue with water. So we're just gonna so I think this is the grape seed, right? It has a bit of a blue undertone. And I worked with it before. I don't know what I was expecting, so maybe it's unfair to judge something without like any parameters, but this is the warm one, I think it was peach stone or something. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, so I own quite a few black watercolor tubes of watercolor, and yeah, I wasn't sure what this would add to my stash of black watercolors. Some of my paper is resisting a little bit here. I don't know why. It's very grainy. And you can see that here. I'm gonna grab another brush. You can see that here. So where you lift your brush, you leave a lot of pooling of the pigment. I got some references, but I linked them. Did I put? Yeah, I put them in the description. I put them in the description. I linked to an Unsplash collection that I made with weird photos with people's silhouettes in it. I had to come up with something, right? By the way, I'm using, hold on, very expensive brushes that I barely use because I don't really use watercolor anymore lately. They are the Da Vinci Colineo. It's like a vegan Kolinsky. They're nice and they're vegan, because I have a hard time with like the little squirrel type animals that are then turned into brushes. And I'm like, is that really necessary? But watercolor people are, well, some watercolor people are very adamant about the necessity of stuff being Kolinsky or from some squirrel. I'm gonna just paint a bunch of weird silhouettes and wait for the background to dry and wait to see if maybe we can blend it a little bit. I'm not really sure. It was a bit of an impromptu live stream, so. Oh, you're all synthetic too. Yeah, cool. I have some of my older brushes, which is like a martyr or something. I don't know if you call it a martyr. I'm just anglifying that word. I bought them a long time ago. All right, so yesterday we had our first Zoom art club meeting on Zoom. Zoom, yes. That was so much fun. I hope I don't have brushes that for. Yeah, I felt the same way, but it didn't really register with me at the time. But you know, it's better late than never. I don't know that brand. Lynn, I usually just buy like some European home brand, whatever my art supply store has. But you know, for a long time, I don't think there were acrylic watercolor brushes available. That actually worked. Like there were acrylic watercolor brushes, but you know, they do need to load water. Otherwise, it's just really like awful to paint with. So it's gotta work like a little bit, right? And I think when veganism became more popular, there has to be some kind of demand for it. And when there was a demand, there was also an increase in synthetic brushes for watercolor, but also the development side, right? Yeah, it was great. I kind of already love this liquid charcoal piece. That is cool, yeah. I do like the grain. Like, I have no issue with the grain. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm also a little bit out of my, like, watercolor mojo mode. But I thought that maybe, like, I don't know, the theme being flow, which is such like a millennial word, right? Got flow. Yeah, I figured why not do some water? Why not add some water? Let's see, let's see. That looks great. Oh, thank you, Olinika. Yeah, you should look them up. Yeah, even if they turn out to be animal fiber, yeah, nothing you can do about it, right? Except just use them. The one thing about animal hair brushes, especially watercolor, like they last a long time. They're gonna last you a long time if you treat them right. So let's see what happens if we like dry the brush a little bit and then put it down. See, that's really black. This is the peach. The peach. Yes, the peach stone. Yeah, I remember my issue now doing this. So with watercolor, what happens if you have these wet areas, and when you touch the paint into the wet area, the pigment seems to sort of glide into that area, right? That can be great. It can also be a, oh my God, I just ruined this entire painting type of feeling. But this stuff does not move, like it's sitting there being, look, and now that my brush is too dry, but you're kind of picking it back up. It's a very, I feel like it's a very heavy pigment size, and it would require some more skill, I suppose, to but it's a nice black. Oh, it's a mix, which is, you know, half synthetic, half squirrel. I love squirrels. They're so cute. Let's do another buddy. Took a trip to the Grand Canyon hiking. Oh, that is so cute. That is so cute. We have a couple of squirrels here in my hometown, and sometimes if you're lucky, you see one. And I saw one climb up a tree a couple of weeks ago. And I just stopped my bike and saw the squirrel just climb up the tree. That was a tall tree. That was so cool. I don't know why they're so cute with the fluffy tail, and also you had this cartoon on TV. I think there was an English version of it as well. I don't know if it was a Looney Tunes type of production. There were the two squirrels. I don't know if you remember it. If you're Dutch, they were called Knubbel and Bubble. They were hysterical. Knubbel and Bubble. That's a bit much. So you can hear it maybe a little bit, but you're supposed to be able to, hold on, just squirreling up here. They use their tails as an umbrella, or then you have a different level of squirrels. I don't think Dutch squirrels are going to use their tails as an umbrella. That's kind of cool. Chip and Dale, are you serious? Are they seriously called that way? Chip and Dale? Oh, wow. That is funky. So knubbel and bubble basically means knubbel means to nibble on something, and bubble means to chronically talk and talk and talk and talk. So knubbel and bubble. Chip and Dale is a bit naughtier. So anyways, you're supposed to be able to blend this a little bit, and you can see that there is this area here that has some pigment pooling in it, and I'm gonna just I wouldn't call that blending, right? So I remember in some of the introduction videos from liquid charcoal that the idea was that you could, when it was dry, it would behave like charcoal. And I feel like maybe it's the paper I'm using. Like, I'm pretty sure it's me. But I tried this also on actual watercolor paper and actually thought that that was the problem because it's very grainy. So I have the Paint On by Canson, which is very smooth paper, and I don't feel like this behaves as charcoal. Like, you can take some of it off with your finger, but it's pretty set, and especially areas like this are not blending. So I remember now thinking, if this is the way that it dries, what is the difference between this and a grainy watercolor, right? Because I have watercolor that behaves pretty much the same way, except I feel like the binder is a little bit better quality maybe, or it's the way that the pigment was ground, but it's easier to control, and it has almost the same kind of graininess with a crackling in here. Anyways, that was my question at the time. That is my question now again as well. So obviously it's all compatible with different charcoal products, if that is even a thing. But so is watercolor. Let's see. So if you want it like a little bit more control, yeah, it gives off quite a yeah, a grainy surface on the paper itself. What about with a damp? Yeah, that would. I'm gonna try and re-dissolve this in a little bit. I'm pretty sure that'll work because it's a water-based pigment. So it reminds me of the gray aliens. The gray aliens. Let's see if we can re-dissolve. I'm gonna grab just a smaller brush. Just some water. Yeah, so it does redissolve like watercolor. No. I'm just gonna try and add a little bit more. Black here. You know what we can do? I'm gonna try and not make too much noise near my microphone. Hee hee. Whoop. Is that good? My stream is delayed, so I can't really see if I'm just gonna leave it like this for just this layer, and I'll flip it back. what's this called? Like tripping on the right side of your brain or something. There was this book about drawing stuff upside down, right? And it's something to do with the right side of your brain. Drawing with the right side, yeah, something like that. I don't know if that added anything to the process, but it's just fun sometimes. You know, for like washes, if you wanted washes that yeah, that are more of an even gradient. Like this is really hard to get. Some kind of smoothness in here. But I also have to say that I struggled and still struggle a little bit with, you know, just the general fluidity of watercolor. And I have this major overblending issue with watercolor. Alright, you can kind of draw into it. That's kind of cool. That's funky. I love looking for things in the shade. Yeah, that's cool. I used to be obsessed when I was a kid. I would have my mom just like draw a bunch of, or paint like a bunch of random stuff, and I would draw little edges around them to make shapes. It was like a favorite. Charcoal, yes, it's the charcoal pencil. I have a charcoal pencil. I love watercolor, and I must admit some of my brushes are synthetic, quite cheap, it works fire. Yeah, I think, you know, the real, like, where people start, you know, getting really obsessed about what their brushes are made of are people that need to load a lot of water. And it's a certain technique, which is very admirable, but it's not something that we all need, right? Where's my smaller? So I think like when you put them side to side, you can definitely see a difference between the warm and the colder variety. I do feel like when you work them into each other, they cancel each other out a little bit. But there is a pretty clear difference between the two. And I think the third one that I didn't buy, because I'm so good, was actually one that was in between, maybe. Like a neutral. I feel like once you have a few layers down, the dispersion, the pigment dispersion on the edges is a little bit better. So maybe that's kind of the trick. Right, so where you touch the edge with a wet brush and it sort of pulls in the pigment, that effect. Oh, let's not put my brush in my drink. Thank you. Is it bad to drink charcoal? Like, I remember that being a diet fad back in the days. Something with charcoal and toxin, whatever. Oh, we used to have the facial masks. The charcoal facial masks. Pure charcoal is okay. I had this watercolor once, I think it was Sennelier, that puts a little bit of honey. And it has to do probably with like the water flow, or I don't even know. But just the thought of honey being in that paint, I don't know why it makes it tasty. Maybe it's just my brain that is sugar oriented. I was like, ooh, yeah. Let me catch up. The noir feel to this, thank you. I like that word. Half burnt things are toxic. Okay, but this is charcoal, right? So it's like fully burned. I won't eat it, I promise. I took my watercolor with me on my long holiday. I'm gonna try this too. Cool, that's cool. The honey, Linda, my sister, my sugar sister. Right, I'm kind of possibly maybe changing my opinion a little bit on this. I feel like I need to use it more. Yeah. It definitely has some nice layering potential. You know what the thing is with watercolor and people like me who do watercolor once every 5 years is that you lack the confidence to put down a stroke, the end, right? So you start fiddling in the water pool and the pigment goes everywhere and it's just a grainy mess. Whereas you often see, like Dylan, for instance, and other experienced watercolor folk, they lay down the strokes and then don't touch them. All right. And that's the thing, like here, I was like, and it just turns out like it doesn't really serve a purpose. Whereas I feel like now here, when you put it like this, now it sort of sings, right? Now you have the nice edge here and the consistent grainy gradient here. So basically all of this is due to my lack of working with water. There we go. Kind of knew that at the start. I'm just in denial. See if we can create a couple more big ass shapes of confidence. Blah. It suits your style. More into product testing, not with advertising. Yeah, cool. I do like, by the way, that, you know, companies are... See, now I did it again. Just like that. The end. I do appreciate that but companies are, you know, trying stuff out and keeping things a little bit fresh and stuff. Calligraphy brush. Ooh. I have to get the ratio of material with... Yeah. Calligraphy is like the mountaintop none of us will ever reach. No mortal man. Calligraphy videos is really this rabbit hole on YouTube where you just kind of want to throw yourself in, but you know it's not good for you. I love it. It's so good. It's becoming more and more what I saw, right? Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool because you kind of, I don't know, I don't really remember what it looked like in the beginning. But I think you have to always have this phase, right, in between where you go like, no, this is not going to work. And then, yeah, you kind of come back to the original, vision. What's difficult is bamboo paper, in my opinion, is radically different. Ooh, yeah. I don't know, like, do you mean like bamboo paper? Because I used Hanemüller bamboo, and I think I remember it's 50% bamboo fibers, but I can't remember if it's 100% or 50%. So bear with me there. I love Hanemüller bamboo. It's very smooth, but I use it for a couple of years consistently with mainly with acrylic washes. You know, acrylic what? Yeah, acrylic paint with water. I will put this liquid charcoal on my wish list. Sold it. I will say, this has an amazing water load. I will give that to them. They're disgustingly expensive, but at the same time your brain goes like, it's a synthetic brush, right? Why do I need to pay premium prices for synthetic brushes? But they're treated with, I don't know what, some kind of sand blasting thingy. That gives them the ability to load more water. So where the animal brush has, you know, how the human hair also has the little flaps, I don't know what it's called, the little thingies on your hair. They try to mimic that with this one. It has a good water load. Let's see. We're talking paper. I love that. Never tried bamboo. Yes, Alina is gonna buy the liquid charcoal. Bamboo doesn't adhere to certain kinds of ink. Oh, really? Yeah, it's a weird. Like it's almost a little bit repellent, but it's so nice and smooth. Yeah. Haven't been obsessed about paper pulp. Interesting stable style brush. Yeah, so it's a synthetic brush. I think I mentioned it, but early on in the live stream. So it's a synthetic brush by Da Vinci Brushes, which is, I think it's a European brand. I'm not really sure if they... Cannot make something without at least once stuffing my fingers in there. Stop. That. In the 80s, oh, cool. So you went to art school? High school, oh, high school art, cool. We do have access to that brand in the States. Oh, cool, cool, cool. I like it, it's a nice brand. I have oil paint brushes by them as well. So I think I may have converted myself back into into this. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit over my initial disappointment that sort of stuck around, I think, and then I stopped trying, I think. So this is fun because this was the whole point, right, of this this month and this theme. It's just so funny how you can sort of convince yourself that something is not what you wanted it to be, just because you're insecure about the first couple of times trying it and having different expectations, and it not working, right? And that stresses me out. And then I sort of convince myself that it's a faulty product almost. It's a little bit unfair. Cool. That was cool. Let me see. I had trouble figuring out oils. I ripped the canvas. Absolutely rip it. Yes. I usually work in oils. So the next 2 live streams are about sketching with oil paint. With sketching, I mean, you know, just quickly laying down stuff, not worrying too much about layers, and just creating something that doesn't necessarily have to be kept or sold or whatever. So just, you know, trying stuff out. I usually work on oil paint paper for that. So I will be doing that next week, and another live stream, I think at the end of the month. So a little bit of oil paint for that. Good thing about oil paint paper is you can also rip up the paper if you're not happy. Not just off the frame, but just the whole damn paper can be ripped to shreds when it's dry. So that's great. Linda, I love you too, and you're also cool. You are way better with this medium than you think. Maybe. I can draw little creepy buddies that creep around with pretty much any medium. That is true. But I have to say, like, talking to you and doing this, I think I was a little bit, like I said, judgmental about this medium, and will use it, I think, a little bit more now. Yes, you're welcome for the bonus. Thank you for joining me during this unplanned live stream. The snow is still outside. It's gonna be major cold this weekend for our poor little country. So that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna stay inside and just draw and paint, I think. Elizabeth says, I still haven't watched your lovely master study, but I'm hoping there's you're gonna see a Guangzhou expo. That is way cool. Oh, that is wonderful. Wonderful. Great. All right. Thank you for joining me. I will have another live stream next Wednesday as planned, and it's already scheduled on YouTube, so you can like hit the notification bell or anything like that. Like I said yesterday, I have an Instagram channel that you can subscribe to if you want like last minute heads up. Live stream is starting, Zoom call is starting, whatever is going on there. So thank you so much. I hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you on social media. I will see you next week during the live stream. All right? Thank you. Mwah. Bye-bye.